Hello everyone, this is Jay from Programming TCG, and today we're back with some Pokemon. Now guys, I want to say real quick that if you haven't seen my Elder Scrolls Legend series, I uploaded a video really early in the morning today stating why I haven't been uploading too much, but obviously I'm getting back into it here. So if you don't know, go ahead, go watch that video if you haven't already watched it. Hit that like button over there on this video, and while you're watching this video, you might as well scroll down, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. What are you waiting for? This is an awesome community over here. We have tons of conversations in the comment section and everything else. We are a really fun community to be around anyways. Into the gameplay here and into the topic on hand today, budget decks. Now, budget decks are a very curious thing, especially with the Burning Shadows release. There seems to be a lot of budget decks going around. Actually, the deck that I'm playing is a budget deck, and the deck I'm playing against is a budget deck, which unfortunately I have no idea why I lost to this deck. A little preview for the end of the video there. I did actually end up losing to this deck for some major misplays that I'm sure you guys will be able to point out easily. But I am playing a budget deck here. My opponent's playing a budget deck. He is playing Sowazzle, which is probably one of the best cards to come out of Guardians Rising, and it yet is so underrated because so many people pass over it. So many people are concerned with GXs. There was a really nice knockout for him, getting that 90 damage off, being able to get that 90 damage off to KO my Golduck. And unfortunately, I just wasn't able to get anything off this draw. And that's part of budget decks, not being able to draw what you need at the right times, not having the consistency as a top meta deck. But budget decks could possibly be really good in this upcoming meta. A lot of people aren't expecting budget decks. Budget decks seem to be on the back burner in people's minds, No one's ever thinking about that they're going to come up against a Golduck Alolan Ninetales deck while they're running Drampa Garbodor. And if you think about it, Alolan Ninetales counters Drampa really hard. So really, you're not going to be able to get your Drampa out like you want to. And, Garbodor only has a 120 HP, and if you have your Golduck setup and a Golduck breakdown with not very many item cards in the discard pile, it's already shutting down the best deck in the meta right now. Let's, talk about, Espion Garbodor. Same thing. Alolan Ninetales shuts down most of your opponent's GX cards, well, all of your opponent's EX and GX cards. And then, Golduck is there for the cleanup. When they throw out Garbodor, you throw out Golduck, and you take that KO. Yes, it's going to be a prize battle, and you guys are going to be trading prize cards quite a bit, but hopefully you can take a KO on some of their GX or EX cards that they deem useless in this matchup and be able to win that prize battle. This is basically right here, two budget decks going up against each other is actually just a prize battle. It's who has the right cards at the right time. Here I'm able to get out a Vulpix from Brooklet from the stadium there, but unfortunately I wasn't able to evolve that into Alolan Ninetales, which this deck actually struggles a lot with other budget decks because of the point of it not being able to do very well. Alolan Ninetales is in there to stop EXs and GXs from just wiping out the Golducks. And it does that very well. It does what it's supposed to do very well, but doesn't really do anything else. And that's the only problem with budget decks, I think. I think budget decks do what they are meant to do very well, but sometimes they're very situational, and sometimes they can be a real hassle to get going. While meta decks are going to be going right off the back, first hand, they're going to have everything that they want, everything that they ever needed, and they're going to have turn 2 ready to start attacking. So, will budget decks be seen in tournament play? I can see people taking some budget decks just to surprise a few people, to league cups, to league tournaments, to maybe even a regional championship. We see some budget decks there. Will any of them be topping? Most likely not. I don't think any skilled players who take this game seriously are going to be taking budget decks to regional competitions, So it's kind of a downer in that sense, but some things are okay. Now, talking about the budget deck that I'm playing here, Golduck Alolan Ninetales, I've talked about it a little bit. This deck, I feel like, could be a very good and very viable deck to be playing. You have your Golducks for 120 HP, and I get really well set up here. Unfortunately, my opponent here, he just kind of in the next couple of turns is just going to wipe me away. But with Golduck having the ability to use Double Jet for 120 pretty consistently as long as you have a Starmie out on the bench, it's pretty easy to get this deck very quickly up and running. I know we're losing Dive Balls, but Dive Balls can be switched to Ultra Balls, and I've already taken Level Balls out of this deck, which they aren't really needed because you have Brooklet Hill. Plus, there's so much draw power from supporters in this deck that I feel pretty strong. The only thing that could improve this deck is probably Tapu Lele, to be able to pick out the right supporter when I needed it from my deck, and to be able to use it as maybe a secondary attacker, even though Alolan Ninetales is kind of my secondary attacker, but it's not great. Aqua Patch also works great in this deck, retrieving energy from that discard pile that maybe I want on an Alolan Ninetales on the bench. It works really well. So this deck actually runs very, very, very well, and I'm always, it's an awesome deck. The only problem is that sometimes the consistency can be a little bit odd with the energy. Probably if I took a few supporter cards out, I could probably add a few more energy in and be able to run totally fine, But if you guys definitely have any suggestions at all, I would appreciate it if you guys left them in the comment section below. It would be greatly appreciated, if you guys have any idea for this deck. Also, if you guys have any ideas for other budget decks, definitely leave those in the comment section below. I know Kingdra is a strong budget deck that came out of Burning Shadows, and I actually want to start experimenting with Kingdra. It seems like a very interesting deck. He actually has a Ho-Oh on the bench that I'm actually going to try to KO, because right now it's a 3-3, and this is actually getting to be a very, very, very close game here, and it's pretty interesting with what happens. So switching over to the game here, I go ahead and switch out Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales is going to be able to knock out this his active Pokemon currently, because it does 80 times 2. It's going to do 160. Gonna go ahead and Dive Ball here. Actually, I still have Level Balls in there, but Level Ball is also getting rotated out, if you guys didn't know. Level Ball and Dive Ball both getting rotated out, but that's alright. They're going to be easily replaceable. Level Ball can be replaced with Nest Ball, even though it's not going to be able to search for Golduck's, but Ultra Ball. I actually go ahead and switch here. I actually forgot that I Lysandred out his Victini to allow him not to be able to coin flip, to redo coin flips, which I don't exactly know why I did that. Because of the fact that there really wasn't anything down. But as you guys see here, he kind of has quite a few GXs and EXs down on the bench now. He's got a Lugia EX, Flareon EX, and a Ho-Oh GX. So honestly, Alolan Ninetales is shutting him down. He doesn't seem like he can get anything that can one-hit KO my Alolan Ninetales and deal enough damage to actually take the last 3 of the prize cards that he needs. So now, since I've got Starmie set up, you guys can see how powerful this deck can become when Starmie's down on the bench. I'm dealing 120 damage, even though that isn't actually 120 damage because of Lugia's ability. I can easily do 120 damage. I can also do 160 damage to Fire-type decks. This deck specifically with my Alolan Ninetales. This is shutting down Volcanion completely. Volcanion used to run some basics. Now it runs Turt, it runs Ho-Oh, it runs, if they're running Ho-Oh, that's going to be pretty rare, I think. And it runs EXs. So it's running a pretty hard line of EX GXs. So honestly, this deck can most likely become very, very good, and you wouldn't even see it arise on the scene until someone brought it to a, into a regional or something like that, and won. Anyways, guys, leave your comments down in the section below for recommendations for this deck and any other decks that you might want to see. I love doing budget decks. Budget decks are super fun to play. Anyways, guys, this has been Jay from Bro Gaming TCG. I want to remind you all to always keep on battling and pursue your dreams. Thanks for watching.